Look, solo play in Monster Hunter Wilds has always been a test of grit and determination. It's just you and the monster, as well as a deep existential crisis of knowing that if you get carded, pretty much all on you. You can't really blame your Palico friend, you can't blame nobody but yourself. But Monster Hunter Wilds changes it in ways that for both newcomers and veterans alike, they weren't really expecting this. The game doesn't just tweak the solo experience, it evolves it. And depending on who you ask, might be the best thing that Capcom has ever done, or the sign of the doomy days that are to come. So let's talk about this. If you've been around since the olden days of Monster Hunter, you remember how brutal solo hunting used to be. There were no NPC hunters coming to your rescue, no streamlined mechanics to help you out. You went in alone, underprepared, and the game expected you to either adapt or die. Look, veterans of the series loved it. Fighting something like an Apex Rajang solo felt like going 10 rounds with a freaking sentient meteor. You had to know every attack pattern, every opening, and how to squeeze out every last frame of the iframes in the game just to survive. But it was so rewarding when you finally came out on top. Then Monster Hunter World happened and things got a bit smoother, I'll be very honest. The mechanics were streamlined a bit, loading times were shorter, paintballs became redundant because there's only ever one monster in the map that you need to just find, and you can pretty much track with your little sprinkly things that follow along. It was very easy to track monsters, and solo play felt way more accessible without taking away the quote-unquote challenge, the challenge of the game because of Iceborne and later on in the end game content. But Wilds? Well, Wilds takes it to the next level. Enter NPC hunters, these AI companions who kind of take the load off your back, so to speak. Hopefully, so to speak, and not literally. And before you think about it, they're not just glorified Palicos in human form, even though Palicos have received a significant buff as well, so they're very useful now. But no, these AI companions, these guys have real AI. They got strategies, they got moment-to-moment decision making. They even craft their own armor if you follow them for long enough from the monsters that they have carved in the past. I gotta be very honest, if you've ever played a Stalker game, it's like that A-Life level of NPC stuff where they have their own kind of day-to-day activities. But this overall does change the solo experience quite a bit because you need heals, of course they got you. You need someone to pull aggro apart from your useless Palico. Yes, they got you as well. You need somebody to talk to, somebody to just lend their ear, so to speak. They can't really speak, but they got you, of course. Look, at first, I wasn't really sure on how I felt about this overall because for me personally, I've always been a solo hunter. Throughout my experience with Monster Hunter, through the años, through the years, it's always been a solo endeavor for me. So having NPC hunters apart from having your Palico with you, it was weird enough for me in Rise where you had the Palamute as well who did some action, and that was weird for me. So you had a Palico and a Palamute. So now having 3 additional NPC hunters with you that have their own weapons and their own tactics, it felt weird. It felt like it took away from the heart, the kind of essence of the solo experience in the game. But then I came to this weird realization one of these days that I was playing without even using NPC hunters. It doesn't take away from the solo experience. It evolves it. These guys, they don't fight for you, they fight with you. And I feel like that difference is huge. Instead of turning solo hunts into AI-assisted catwalks, they make the world feel lived in. I feel like that's a thing that has been missing from Monster Hunter World or Rise or the Monster Hunter series in general for ages. Yes, you've had those villages where people live, and that was okay, cool. But in Wilds, because there's multiple monsters roaming the lands, there's more endemic life, I think that's the correct word, and there's more just hunters running about. You can summon these guys to fight with you, and it makes the world feel lived in. It's not just a monster hunting simulator, which some people like that. And I'll be very honest, I used to prefer Monster Hunter to be a monster hunting game, and now it feels like an RPG, if anything. Let's be honest, man, if this is the start of the NPC hunter era in Monster Hunter games, imagine in the future if you can customize your hunters, first of all, if you can recruit the chef to fight alongside you with his ladle or his pans, or better yet, I just got this idea off the top of my dome piece. Imagine having like 3 Palicos with you fighting alongside you in the hunts, or 3 custom Palicos. I feel like in Rise, you could summon or you can recruit different Palicos. I think you can do it in Wilds as well. I'm not sure. Please let me know in the comments because I haven't dug that deep into those. Like Capcom, if you're listening to this, please I need this. But let's address the Narga Kuga in the room, broski. You still haven't subscribed to the channel. Well, but also the game does overall feel easier. Let me clarify, it's easier in a way that makes sense in the game's design. Not necessarily because the game is overall just easier and there's way less challenge in the game, which does hold true to a point. I made a full video on this. If you're interested in that, please click that link if it's on the top right corner of your screen right now. If not, then man, just know this, the game is more streamlined because of quality of life stuff, not because of necessarily the game being easier overall, but because you're just a better gamer and a better hunter. That's not necessarily a bad thing if you ask me. Look, for the future of the series, if they keep adding DLC as they have done in the past with more challenging hunts, man, having these streamlined mechanics and more challenging hunts is gonna make for one hell of a game, broski. I gotta be very honest with that. It's gonna be one of the best, if not the best Monster Hunter experience that there is, because as it stands right now, the fun factor, broski, through the freaking suguf. Through the roof. I just threw in some Arabic in there. Admittedly, for veteran hunters, this might take some getting used to as well because of the streamlined mechanics. But for new players, like I said, man, this is a point, if any, to jump into the series and be super freaking excited for the future of the series as well. Because man, oh my god, so much fun. So the short answer to is solo hunting fun? Is it worth it? Yes. The long answer? Hell freaking yes. The moment-to-moment gameplay feels incroyable. Feels incredible. I was trying to be fancy with that. The world is more immersive than ever. NPC hunters make solo play feel alive. The companion system with palicos is perfectly tuned for the single player experience with their buffs. And even if the difficulty has shifted, the overall fun factor is through the roof, like I said. Monster Hunter Wilds is the biggest evolution for solo players that the series has pretty much ever seen. It respects your time now. It keeps the thrill of the hunt intact to a point. And most importantly, it feels like Capcom finally figured out how to make solo play just as engaging as multiplayer. So that's why I'm excited for the future. If this is what Wilds is doing now for solo hunters, imagine, man, imagine what the future might look like. Or even the next game. Deeper customization, deeper NPC interactions, a full-on mercenary system where you build your own hunting team, man. The possibilities are endless. I honestly just can't wait to see where it goes. So if you're a solo player wondering if you should be jumping into this game, I pretty much answered it for you right now, man. Of freaking course you should be jumping into this game. As a long-time solo player of the series, I loved it. I loved the solo experience in this one, and I could not recommend it even any more than I am right now. But also, at the end of the day, this is completely optional. NPC hunters are completely optional. So you can go about doing it with just your palico and still manage very well, and I did for most of my playthrough, and I enjoyed it. So when I need to call in the NPC hunters, I am super eager to see how the game evolves over the course of the next year or two of content updates and all of that good stuff. But ultimately, what the f do I know, man? I'm just a gamer on the internet telling you that I liked the solo experience of this title and hope that more people will talk about it too, because there's a lot of discussion going about, a lot of debate about the challenge of the game, about the amount of content that there is. Broskis, the game has been out for like 2 weeks now. Of course, it's going to be void of content for players who are used to having tons of variation in the hunts, tons of the tempered monsters, the high level, high rank stuff. Of course, there's going to be a lack of content if you're playing every day for like 10 hours. If yes, of course, man. I don't want to be that guy to kind of point out the elephant in the room. Yeah, play some other games while you're at it. If you want to know what other games to play, check out the channel, man. Subscribe to the channel, of course, while you're at it. We're on the road to the greatness of the YouTubes, so I'd be very happy to have you on board this train to greatness. Look, I don't really know how to end this video, so click that link, man. I gotta check the screen that I'm pointing towards the right direction. I hope you guys have a great day wherever you're from, whichever time of day you watch this at. Enjoy the meme in the outro and keep on trucking my dudes. Peace.